Hello Everhouse, my name is Dan Brunn. Today we're in Lake Arrowhead taking a look at my cabin. We're situated in Lake Arrowhead, which is about 1 to 2 hours away from Los Angeles proper. The history about this was to create a retreat away from Los Angeles, somewhere that's serene and quiet, and no matter where you look out, you're always connected to nature. We started out with a house that was inhabited by the original owner since back in the early 70s, late 60s. One of the things that drew me towards it was this grand cathedral room that's very rare to find in an A-frame type design. The house itself is very functional to begin with. It had 2 bedrooms on the ground floor with a shared bath, and then another bedroom and another shared bath. Oddly, behind each one of the bedrooms downstairs, there was storage space that wasn't being used for anything, and used that to become bathrooms. And then the loft, which is a big change to the house. So if it's all about the connection to nature and having these big windows, on this side, we have this traditional style A-frame. I added the second one at the loft, copying this same design. So now it's almost what I consider like a double A-frame. Or you take like a cathedral plan of a church and adding in the second one, and we have this access, which is just, really marvelous. One of the things that also drew me to this house was it broke rules of traditional architecture in the fact that it's not symmetrical. There's this beautiful vertical glass window that you would think would be something that we added, but it's not, and it was existing. Even the way the fireplace isn't on center, I noticed it right away. Again, very, very unique. We wanted to encapsulate this Nordic feel. It starts with the Nordic ash wood, and then everything else is a very subdued palette of colors. Here it was about this reduced palette and figuring out these warm taupe tones. However, to signify areas of circulation, meaning stairs going up and down, the house actually has a center core, which is the contrast area, which is the dark navy blue, and that would signify the zones of motion. Right when you enter the house, and even from the outside, you'll see this dark color to it, which is in almost black. It's a very super navy. When you open that door, walking in, you're greeted with that. And up the stairs, which are also in that same tone, in order to feel the opening once you get to the top. All of a sudden, then you're greeted by the warmth of the light wood in the main entertainment spaces. One of the things that we did for the inside was about reduction. Essentially, to keep it down to the smallest amount of materials that you could have. So we have a Nordic ash on the floor, and then we took the ceiling at the top, which was before all painted green, and sandblasted it, and got it with a waterborne stain to be similar in tone to the new ash wood. The embodiment of the project to me is ecology and preservation. It doesn't necessarily mean preservation is keeping in with traditional values. It's very easy to start fresh. So here we were able to take some of the shapes and the incredible geometries and rethink them into something that would be unmistakable, to be able to see what you could push up against and what you could result with. The house is actually an upside down house, meaning that you have all the bedrooms down at the ground floor, but all the entertainment areas up above. And what that gives us is also the connection to nature, meaning that when you're in the room that we're at right now, over to your left and to your right, you're actually within the tree lines. So you can imagine that in the winter, you actually are within the snow, which is just really cool and closer to the sky. My first introduction to Lake Arrowhead was, funny enough, through a house I designed on the beach in Venice. And this is sort of the magic of Southern California. I was standing on top of the roof. On one side to the west, surfers. On the east, looking out, you'll see the snow-peaked mountains. These are the mountains, if you're familiar with LA, that you see from afar behind downtown, full of snow where people ski. This is where we're located today. One of the special outcomes of having this retreat is actually the journey getting here. Starting from LA is about a 2-hour drive, but what's beautiful is that up on the road, it's this sinuous, curving valley type of a road. It's more built as something you would see in Italy on the mountains, whereby instead of blasting through the mountain, it's almost like bridges connected to the outside of the mountain. So I've taken an artillery of different automobiles up here, anything from electric, an E30 M3 to the G-Wagon, which we brought today. And it depends on the season and mood. You can have a totally different feel. You take the G-Wagon because you're ready for the winter, right? You have the 4-wheel drive, there's no problem to do it. It's again, one of these things that I spoke to about it, somebody else that stayed here, is that disconnection. And so to certain people, it means a different thing. To me, it can mean the drive coming up here, but it's the elevation change too. As A-frames become almost trendy, for me it was a way here to think about another way of looking at it. And one of the biggest challenges is the fact that you have the connection to nature on one side through the A-frame. On the other side you have the fireplace, and then behind you have the TV. So it was a challenge to create this space that centers everything. When we did the interior design, I was thinking about a sofa and a roundness that captures it all and pulls everything all together. This was really fun, figuring out textures in the materials. Somebody would come here and feel maybe familiar, and it will be familiar today and in 20 years' time. That's what the goal was. As the project is just completed, we're here at the infancy of where it all started. And what's beautiful to me to see is how the old and the new are being combined, and it feels, even though it's brand new, it feels as if it's aged, and it feels like as if it's part of here. So I cannot wait to see where it will be in 20 years' time.
Subscribe to the Everhouse channel by clicking on the logo to receive updates on our latest episodes.